Okay, we got to just jump right in.
Let's go.
I was not ready, Stephanie, for the first performance tonight.
Nor was I.
One person who we already knew what he was going to do, and that was Danny.
Yes.
If you all remember, Danny was the Englishman who had a lot of intestinal issues, had been sick for many years, and talked about his wife and just how incredible she was and raising the kids and taking care of him and working and helping him. And she's the one I think that recommended him to get on that show. And then Deon, who we didn't really get to see. And then I saw the song that was given to them. It's a Man's World, done by the incomparable King of Soul, James Brown. I said, before it started, before we got into it, when we were in the Be Real, Stephanie, I said, it's not going to be fair. Danny is going to be one of those singers that whoever you pair him up against in the battles, it's not going to be fair.
Yes.
Because Danny is that electric.
Yes, he is.
I said he's a force. That's what I wrote. I said Danny is a force.
Yes.
Not, like beyond a force of nature. He just is. Okay, he's just a force. And I said, Stephanie, remember when? And then we get into the performance. Then we get into some of this the holleration that was coming, and that was just in the Be Real. And this is what I wrote down, Stephanie. I said, remember when you have a hot iron skillet and you're frying either fish or chicken in that hot grease or oil, as we call it here. And then that grease is so hot. What does it do, Stephanie?
Pop.
And it hits you. Ooh. And you like, ouch. Stephanie, you know what I'm talking about. And those of you that know what I'm talking about. Cast iron skillet, deep frying some fish or some chicken or something. Okra, I don't know. And that grease gets so hot, it pops. It goes, and it hits you. That hot grease hits your skin. And you're like, and it burns you. So that's what tonight was with the opening performance. I said it was so much soul, so much power, so much fire. And it wasn't, and some people may interpret it as screaming. No. That was holleration, y'all. That was not screaming. Fantasia would have been proud. That was holleration. You know what? I love Deon's vibrato. He has such a unique vibrato. It reminds me of those kind of soul singers of the 80s, late 70s, 80s, like the Freddie Jackson, the Peebo Bryson, the Jeffrey Osborne. Like it reminds me of like the Quiet Storm type singers. It's a different sound. I said, I just loved it. I said, it's a slightly faster vibrato, but not too machine gunny. Like, no. It's slightly faster.
Like a sheep.
It's very unique. And y'all, I cussed a lot tonight during this performance. And I said, take your blankety blank time, right? So, because it was I wrote total annihilation, zero survivors, triple snappage. Y'all, we haven't talked about snapping too much, like where people snap, but there wasn't a single snap, there wasn't a double snap, it was triple snappage. It's like they snapped for the Holy Ghost.
Snap fest.
He snapped, and then they both snapped for the Holy Ghost.
Yes.
And I said, I thought Danny had Deon until you got to go back and watch what Deon does at the end of this song. It's like, he said, I got one more that's going to write that's my insurance note. I said, Deon said, let me, I got one more bag in my, trick in my bag.
Not the insurance note.
It's an insurance note. He said, because I ain't going nowhere. Boom. Stephanie, you up.
I was not ready for insurance note, but I know exactly what you mean.
You know what I'm
Okay,
talking about. He went in
I
that
know
whole
exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. When I first saw this pairing, because this is another one that I saw on Instagram, it seems that either during the weekend prior to the episode or Monday, my days are all going together, but prior to the actual show, contestants are allowed to show through picture only who their battle partners were. And this one was so interesting to me because, again, we know what Danny's bringing. And again, didn't really know the full of what Deon was bringing. But I was like, okay, knowing what Danny brings, either this is full on sabotage for Deon or Deon has a holler within him as well.
No, y'all just got the tongue smack. Stephanie,
what? Like, okay, let me start with Danny. From the beginning, from the first line, I was like, here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. Okay, not only did we get falsetto also from Danny, we got nuanced holleration. Have you ever heard nuanced holleration where it's just not a holler, it's a holler and a run, or there's a holler and a quiet? It was just like, what is he doing? Along with running, along with all the incredibly creative things he was doing with his voice. And like James said, and I'll say this of Deon as well, for the amount of holleration happening, it was not screaming. It was so impactful, so powerful, and so cohesive in a way. Like their holler complemented each other. Like,
so appropriate.
So, and especially for this song and this artist that sings this song, James Brown, you better come with a holler if you're doing a James Brown song, okay? Deon.
Did you hear Deon? Did you hear what he said in the middle of the battle to Danny? Did you catch it?
I did, but remind me.
He said, you better sing, Deon.
No, he was like, sing, brother. He said, sing, Danny. Sing, Danny. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking. He said, sing, Danny. He sure did. Deon. I did not know that Deon had this old school soul throat. He literally, in the best way, sounded like a 73-year-old pastor that could sing, like a Marvin Sapp or like a Marvin Winans. Like he had that pastoral, soulful, rich voice that sounded like it should not come out of his throat. Vibrato, all of it. Like I was waiting for him to call the choir up to back him up or something like that. Like it was so dynamic. And the two of them together were dynamic. The showmanship was off the charts, yet appropriate. And I was literally like, James was saying, take your time. I'm like, I was ready to shout. Like, I was ready to shout. It was so, I was not ready. I was ill prepared. And now that I know what it is, I can't wait to go back and watch it again.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, you two. We knew before it was even over that y'all weren't going home. Neither y'all.
Nope.
Please. Nope. That was so obvious.
Nope.
So obvious. Not so obvious on others that we are going to talk about, but that one definitely obvious that y'all weren't going home. So how did it work out?
So Queen Reba picked Danny as the winner. And Deon was bop stolen by Gwen.
Huge pickup.
Gwen. Yes.
Gwen even said, I loved his showmanship. She said the voice was ridiculous, but his showmanship was crazy.
You know something. You know she loves somebody that can perform. Yeah.
And insurance. Ooh, gentlemen, what a way to start a night. I can't remember in recent history how dynamic of a battle. This is what we want. This is what Stephanie and I want.
Yes.
We want blood. We want maiming. We want knife fights.
All right, knife fight. I don't know about the rest.
Okay.